back to the Tap Gaming Podcast. This is episode 10. We made it.
Looks like we made it.
Also, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Hope you like our lovely display up here. It's the best I could do on short notice. So what's going on, gentlemen? How have you been? Don't everyone answer at once. Jeez.
I've been alright. Free Comic Book Day was a lot of fun. It was good going out and checking out and seeing what's there. I haven't bought any comics in quite some time, so it was good to get kind of step back into the game, so to speak. So, but yeah.
Chris, how about yourself?
I'm hanging in there. I'm as good as I can be.
Yeah, Chris wasn't here last week. We missed him dearly.
Yeah, over like the past 2 weeks, I worked, I think, close to 130 hours.
That is disgusting.
Yeah. But, yeah, I decided to class it up on this episode, drinking a glass of wine.
Red wine.
I was doing some cooking earlier, so I was in the mood for some vino.
What'd you cook?
Cooking some meat sauce.
Fancy man over here with his meat sauce.
Cooking's not hard. You should try it sometime.
Hey, I can make a mean tuna fish sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Right out of the can and onto a fucking couple slices of bread. Next fucking Emerald Lagasse over here.
Exactly.
Alright, so we're going to start this show like we start every show by what have we been playing? Chris, what have you been playing?
So I managed to make my way through the Batman Arkham Origins.
Cold Heart.
Yeah, the DLC. It's pretty good actually. I mean, if you know the origin story of Mr. Freeze, it's not really anything new. But overall, it was fun.
Was it better than Harley Quinn's Revenge?
Yes.
Alright. That's not hard, but I just figured I'd ask. Anything else?
I played, what is it, Runner 2, the Bit Trip game. I played that a few times. I'm not really sure why.
Is that still the one I had you download for me?
Oh no, I ended up getting it after I found that weird loophole that I talked to you about. Where it was like, I downloaded it on your account, right?
But it was on your 360. And you
and I could play it and unlock achievements.
On your account or my account?
On mine.
Oh.
So it was like I bought it because it's like if somebody comes across my account and sees like, you don't actually own this game and you somehow have achievements for it, so kind of seemed like a big red flag.
I think you'd be alright. I think they have bigger fish to fry than someone who may or may not have acquired a free copy of Bit Trip Runner 2. So Al, what have you been playing?
I honestly haven't played much. I've been watching a decent amount, but haven't really played much.
Fascinating. Well, what have you been watching then?
NBA playoffs. Watched the...
Oh, I thought you've been watching games, so we'll get to that after.
Oh, okay.
It's a different segment. Al apparently forgot. Yeah, the only thing I played again this week was Forza 5 and some Power Stone 2.
Well, technically I played that too, but...
Well, then you did play something then, jerk.
Yeah, whatever.
That was a bad memory. You don't remember so good. But, yeah, I don't know. In terms of watching, then, Al, I guess we'll let you start off.
NBA playoffs, Game 6, Blazers, Rockets. That was awesome since that ended in a 3 to seal it. Watched Hobbit, Unexpected Journey, finally. Which my girlfriend was very happy that I did see, so... Then, yeah, I mean, just a lot of sports-oriented things. Bruins, Canadians, which was a pretty scary game too, until it kind of all changed towards the far end of it.
4 unanswered goals.
Yeah, which is kind of wild.
Wild, man.
But, yeah, beyond that, anticipating...
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Shit. I don't know what I'm going to do for that yet. But, you going to watch it, Chris?
Probably not going to be home tomorrow night, unfortunately.
Just going to sleep at your desk. gearing up for another 130-hour,
Well, I mean,
2 weeks worth
I
of
won't
work.
be home at a reasonable time to actually view it.
What's unreasonable?
If I get home by 10,
All right, let me
that
know.
would be, yeah.
You can always see it at my house. Just saying.
We'll see. Chris is my TV buddy. He's my new TV buddy. He replaced you.
Son of a bitch.
Chris, you been watching anything?
So what did I watch? The new episode of Arrow. That was awesome.
So good.
The new episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's getting interesting. Or, well, they're almost to their season finale, so, you know. And what else did I watch? What is it? Attack on Titan, the English, like, dub version is actually airing on Toonami now. It was on last night.
Oh shit.
So,
Did you DVR it?
yeah, I watched it this morning.
Sweet.
That was pretty good. I mean, it's kind of weird because if you watch like the subtitle version, like the subtitles don't match up with what they actually say in English.
That never happens.
So
That's why I usually do one or the other. I can't do both.
yeah,
It makes me giggle. It'll be like, Aaron, watch out for the Titan, and then it'll just say like, in the subtitles will be like, Aaron, watch out for the big fucking fleshy monster that kicked in the door and ate your mom.
yeah.
Spoilers. Actually, she didn't really kick a door in. She got hit with a boulder. Happened in the first episode, so fuck off.
The house fell on her. Just to be accurate.
Well, it was the boulder, the debris that hit the house.
Oh. It made it collapse.
Yeah. So we're both half right. But you been watching anything else?
I don't think so.
I'm very sad I haven't been able to watch Mad Men at all. I've contemplated buying the episodes individually, but I think that's kind of silly, so I might just wait. I've been able to avoid spoilers though. So. Oh yeah, what did I watch this week? I watched Tom's Crown Affair this morning.
That's random. Was that on TV or was that just?
Yeah, because I have cable.
Oh yeah, forgot.
Wait, what's that?
It's
Pierce
It's a
Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, Rene Russo movie.
Oh. Never heard of it.
He's a billionaire who doesn't like buying expensive art. He likes stealing it. So it's an interesting movie. It's actually really intelligent the way that it was actually made. It's a remake from like a 1968 movie, but it's actually pretty good. I watched that, and then I watched some more Venture Brothers because they put the second season on Netflix. So I've been watching that, and that show is just so badass. But yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy to report on. So, God, we look like a bunch of fucking zombies right now. We sound like zombies too. All right, let's get energized. So, new releases coming out this week. We have MLB 14, the show for PlayStation 4 is coming out. I've been watching some of that stuff on Twitch. People have like early release copies, and that game looks fucking beautiful.
Yeah, that does look sick. So the Giants Dodgers game.
Oh yeah, I saw that the live stream on IGN. Borderlands 2, the PS Vita bundle comes out this week. The game comes out next week separately. Bound by Flame comes out for PlayStation 4, PC, Xbox 360, and PS3. I didn't see a release for it for Xbox One. I could be wrong. If I am, let me know. God of War Collection comes out for the PlayStation Vita. And I was actually going to attempt to like practice saying this next game. Hakuoki, Stories of the Shinsengumi. I think I said that right. That comes out for PlayStation 3. So I have no idea what the fuck that is, but it's coming out.
Sounds like an RPG.
Yeah, probably a Japanese RPG. To be completely obvious.
Yeah, it makes sense based on the name. All right, so we have we have one thing in our gaming culture section this week. It was I saw an article on Kotaku for this game called 20,000 Leagues Above the Clouds, and it's like a mix between Sid Meier's Pirates and Skies of Arcadia. So they had a teaser trailer up there. I don't know if you guys took a minute and watched it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it? Did you ever play Skies of Arcadia?
Yes, I love that game.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah.
I mean, based on the trailer, everything looks really nice. But I didn't see any. Sorry, that was me.
Oh, right. It's like a bass drum.
I didn't see like any type of combat, so I don't know. That's kind of like a big question mark for me right now.
Yeah, and the dialogue. I know it's being worked on by they said it was like a group of it was only like 3 people.
Yeah.
So for what they've done, it looks really nice. But
I don't know. The dialogue parts don't bother me that much, but I mean, if it's combat, like I kind of expected it to be like like Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think that the game is still underway in terms of development, so we'll see more in the coming days. Do you guys want to do our topic of the week now, or you want to save it after we do a few news things? Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll do some news. I'll make that decision. So. First up on the news report, Unreal Tournament is going to be coming back. Co-founder Mark Rain of Epic Games dropped some hints on Twitter saying that the game is going to be revealed soon, or they're going to be talking about details of it soon. So, just to give you some context, the last Unreal Tournament game came out 6 years ago. So it's been a while since they've had an Unreal game. I fucking love those games, so I'm excited for that little tidbit of news. I don't know if you guys ever got down with the Unreal games.
I suck balls. I suck at that game so hard. I have terrible reaction time, so that's like to the utmost degree of reaction time.
Oh yeah, it's a Twitch shooter. I played a lot of the PlayStation 3 one because you could actually use the PC mods, so that's pretty cool.
I never really got to play that too much. But the times that I did play it, I enjoyed it. But I kind of feel like I'm in the same boat as Al. Like I'm not very good at it.
It takes time. So I don't know it's like any game. If you invest enough time in it, you'll definitely develop some type of aptitude for it.
I have to say, a friend of mine did have the one with the version where you could have different mods, and it was actually kind of really cool seeing the different characters that you could be. I think they had like Final Fantasy VII characters and like Gears of War characters.
Yeah, I had a Master Chief mod. I had the Gears of War one, so I could use like Marcus Phoenix. They had a Marcus skin. They had a Dom skin. They had a few other ones, but yeah, it was cool. They had they had a third person mod. They had a Contra mod. So they had a lot of cool shit that I was able to check out with that game. But moving on. Games with Gold for May has they've announced the titles. Well, we're a couple days into May at this point, but Dust and Elysian Tale and Saints Row the Third are the free games this month if you have Xbox Live Gold. Dust is free now. Excellent game.
Yeah, I played the demo.
You beat it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Did you start playing it or no?
Oh, I played when it first came out. I did the trial and I really liked it, and then I bought it during one of the game sales. So the only thing that sucks about almost all these gold games with gold games, I fucking have all of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It kind of makes me. It's like same thing with PlayStation Plus. Like there's I'm kind of hesitant now to buy almost anything because it's like they're gonna go free. You know, so I've been kind of dialing back my spending.
Mm-hmm.
But and Saints Row will be available on the 16th, I think. So that game's fucking badass too.
Solid, yeah, definitely a solid game.
All right, Sony, they're hurting right now. Well, only in one particular division, in their physical media division. So like their DVD sales, Blu-ray, and like CDs and shit are like really down, and they lost a significant amount of money. Their PlayStation brand, though, however, is still doing strong. It's actually one of the only like solid components of their company right now. They sold off their PC business, or they're in the process of selling off their PC business. So like, it's good to see that PlayStation's like still a very strong brand for them, and can kind of, it can't carry the whole company, but it's something that yeah, I don't know.
Guess it was only a matter of time before stuff went to digital
I
media.
feel like I gotta like fucking just dump a pile of cocaine on the table to fucking get you guys like to like crack a smile or have some inflection in your voice. We're all here. Drink some wine.
No.
But no, you can just kind of see the writing on the wall. A lot of things are going to digital, and that's affecting how the market is, and that's affecting their profit. I mean, if you can't, if you could just get a subscription on to Netflix and watch countless, DVD or countless videos or movies, without having to go out and actually buy the Blu-ray for each single movie, then, wouldn't you rather do that than, have to go out and
Yeah, I still see the relevance for physical media, but I think people don't want to keep it. Like for me, like I like going to Redbox and renting a Blu-ray, but when I'm done with that movie, I don't fucking want it anymore. I go shove it back in the machine. So I just don't want. Like for me, I still like I still have a small affinity for physical media, but I'm getting to the point in my life where it's just like I have way too much of it, and I don't want any more of it. So I think in terms of if they want to really be aggressive with digital, they got to like. Even Sony, this weekend, they did another flash sale. Like, they had, like, it was, like, 20 or 30 games that were $5. And, like, a lot of it's older stuff, so it's, like, nothing that I think any of us are going to really jump at because we've probably, we either own it or we've already, played it in some capacity. But it's good to see that they're starting to be more aggressive with their sales. Like, last week they did one where they had 30 games that were 99 cents. Which was pretty insane. And then this week they're doing games that are like, so you can get Max Payne 3 for $5. You could get, obviously by the time you see this sale will be over. But I just think it's good that they're starting to make some more aggressive moves into digital. And yeah, I'm all about digital. I just want the prices to be kind of commensurate with what you're getting. Like I'll pay $60 for a physical game because I understand all the costs associated with it, but I'm not going to pay $60 for a digital game where those costs are eliminated.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some, maybe adjust the price accordingly for a digital good rather than a physical good. So when the price parity goes away for digital, I'll be 100% in for it. But until then, I'm still going to go buy games at the store because I can do whatever with them, do with them what I please.
I mean, I just don't see myself, at least with, one thing that I think is over is just the people buying, CDs, physical CDs.
Oh my God.
I think that day and age is just come and gone a long time ago.
I still see CDs, and it's
like FYE is just, they're on their last legs. I mean, it's getting to a point where like, where would you even go, like to buy a new CD? I mean, most people nowadays are just getting it online, putting it on their iPod or putting it on their iPhone or putting it on their phone. So
yeah, no, I don't see any need for CDs anymore. I know in terms of like audio fidelity, I know digital has made significant strides. Like Chris, your dad, like swears by CDs.
True. He's pretty much an audiophile, so he has I don't know, it must be with years of experience that he's come to the decision that he has that basically to him CDs sound the best, or like whatever's older. So like if it's like vinyl records or whatever, like he would prefer to have like those. It's just about whatever sounds the best in that regard.
Yeah, but I think in terms of like digital though, like you download like FLAC audio, it's like lossless audio. It's like the same as a CD at this point. Like I know. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I get it, but it's at the same time, it's like your dad has a pretty fucking kicking sound system.
Yeah, it got upgraded recently.
Holy shit! I don't even want to fucking know. What did he upgrade? The speakers or the deck?
They're bigger now.
I'm just gonna facepalm for a few seconds. Just give me a moment. Oh my god. Alright, well what the fuck did...
I,
Please tell me he still has those other really nice ones upstairs. They're just like moved somewhere else.
No, he traded those in to get the new ones.
Oh, alright, he traded them in, thank god. Alright.
Yeah,
I didn't want them
this
to
is
fucking
in
enter
addition to the growing speaker collection.
yeah, your fucking big speaker graveyard in your basement. I was all like, please, because yeah, we're not gonna go into specifics, but it was like if those ended up in your basement, I was gonna rob your house. But yeah. Next topic. This is kind of, I'm sure everyone's heard about the Donald Sterling thing at this point. If you haven't, look it up. But Turtle Rock's community manager Josh Olin was fired for. I read all the tweets that he put out in regards to the situation, but he basically was fired because his company thought he was defending Donald Sterling's actions of being a bigot, and he said things along the lines of Donald Sterling was a victim, you know, in the privacy of your own home, you shouldn't have, like, people shouldn't be, like, recording you, and people shouldn't be, you know, saying things you say and using them against you, and when you're in the privacy of your own home, and that, like, this gross invasion of, you know, of his views and his values, and, like, what happened in result of it. Like, at no point in time was he defending what Donald Sterling did. He was just saying that, like, he felt, like, he basically said Donald Sterling was a victim. And, yeah, I don't think someone's privacy should be invaded, but at the same time, when you're a public figure, privacy is really not a real thing.
It's just like a contradiction in itself, where I find it hilarious because it's like he says he's a victim, you know, because, you know, it's his private life, he has private views, and yet, like, the whole thing with Sterling was like, I don't want, you know, telling his assistant, aka like the person that he was seeing, telling her, you know, I don't want you putting stuff out there, you know, in the public eye, because, you know, I'm a public figure and it could ruin my reputation. So it's just like one giant contradiction in itself. Like, I mean, you can't have, you know, like, you know, you're a public figure, you know, like, you know, what you do has consequences, and yet, you know, it just blows up in the end. And that just goes for people in general who just post stuff on their, you know, social feed. You got to know.
Well, don't go on Twitter. Like, if you have an opinion, honestly, like, I feel I want to say that I feel bad for this guy, but I really don't. Like, if a really, like, a hot button topic is, especially when it comes down to like race and things of that nature, keep your fucking mouth shut. Like, you gotta be the dumbest motherfucker on the planet to, like, even have it be construed that you're defending a bigot on Twitter. Like, you have to be fucking retarded.
No,
I'm just saying, like, I it sucks that this guy lost his job. I don't know if he has a family. I don't know. You know, I'm assuming he has, obviously he has financial responsibilities of some sort, but you learned your lesson next time. Like, that'd be like fucking going on Twitter and being like, you know what, Hitler was a victim. You know, I'm not defending what he did, but, you know, I think he was victimized. Obviously, the gravity of the situation is a little different between Donald Sterling and Hitler, and I'm not trying to make a fucking parallel between the two, but I'm just saying, like, if you have opinion about something that is, it's not even a polarizing topic. There was no one else came out in defense of Donald Sterling. Like, no one was like, yeah, like, no one on ESPN, no one on any, like, CBS, NBC, no sports platform came out in defense of this guy, and you come out with, like, the one, like, not necessarily supportive opinion, but, like, saying what happened was fucked up. It's like, just keep it to yourself.
That's the
like this guy has like 140,000 Twitter followers, so it's not like he's like some scrub that just, like, they, like, scraped it out of the bottom of the Twitter barrel and they're like, oh, it's like he put this tweet out and, like, he got, like, tens of thousands of responses like, you're a fucking, like, idiot, yada yada yada. So
I mean, isn't he a community manager too? So, like, you're in charge of the social media for...
Well, you're representing a brand. Like, you're representing, like, this. He's a very well-known figure in the gaming industry. Like, he's worked for a lot of prolific high-profile companies. And I just don't understand why you would come out and say such a thing when you know what's going to happen. So I don't know. That's the only thing that I found that was slightly confounding. Is like you understand that your job is to, like you are the kind of like the
Ambassador.
gatekeeper for you're the gatekeeper for your video game company, and then you go on your own personal Twitter account and say, like, obviously he didn't go on like Turtle Rock's account and like say these things, but he went on his own personal Twitter account and he got fired, and it's just like I don't know.
Well, especially just in that type of medium, you're in the entertainment medium, and so anything you say or do is going to be magnified. Whether
But
you
it's public, like
well, no, exactly. I mean, you work in music, so if you say something, record label could just shut you down. You say something in film or movies, TV, network could shut you down. You say something in gaming,
well,
developers
just
will
keep it
shut
to
you down.
yourself. Like
So
it's basically the moral of the story is if you have something stupid to say, don't say it on Twitter. And I've seen honestly, dude, I've seen other people lose their jobs because they've said shit on Facebook and other social media platforms. It's like, if you're really that upset about it, write it in a fucking journal. I don't care. Like, just don't go on Twitter or Facebook and say it, because whether your privacy settings are jacked up all the way or not, nothing you say is private. Someone can see it. So, sorry, Josh.
maybe he could get away with it on MySpace.
Probably, because no one gives a fuck about MySpace. So the cast of Star Wars Episode 7 has been announced.
Start with you, Chris.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm kind of surprised they're involving the original cast, but
They're gonna look so hurt in that movie. I don't know why they're doing it.
yeah. From what I've read, I understand like the movie's basically supposed to be about the original cast's like children. So, I mean, the person that this is kind of spoilerish, but the person that Luke ends up with like hasn't been introduced yet, and I don't know. I'm curious to know like who they're gonna find, because he's like what 60 years old or
They're
something.
gonna find some fucking old wrinkle ass lady. Be like, Luke, this is your wife.
Right. I mean, I can see starting off the movie and explaining like some time passed, like Han and Leia. You already know they're together. They had some kids, and here they are. But yeah, Luke. I don't know how exactly they're gonna go about that. It kind of seems like it's a delicate area.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to be excited for it, but I don't really have much faith in J.J. Abrams. And some of the cast people, like some of the cast that was revealed, I like some of them. Like I like Oscar Isaac. I think he's a good actor. I liked him in Place Beyond the Pond. No, not Place. No, Drive. Sorry, he was in Drive. He was good in Drive, and I liked him in Sucker Punch for what it's worth. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't trust J.J. Abrams, and I think that having his attention split between that and Star Trek is not going to help Star Wars at all.
Well, it was funny because they said that I think his name is Michael Arndt, Arndt, originally wrote the screenplay, and he got I don't know how far in, and gave it to Abrams, and Abrams was like, no, this focuses too much on the young cast. Like I want to kind of put forth the old cast back into it. So that was scrapped, and then they ended up going with Abrams writing and the person who wrote Empire Strikes Back. So they just pretty much revamped the whole thing, and it focuses more on the original than like what Chris was saying, focus more on the original than the new cast. I mean, we'll see. The only thing I can at least throw out there that's a little hopeful is that, Abrams does have a love for Star Wars, so,
Well,
it can be much worse than
Star Trek Into Darkness.
well, hey, I like that, but
That movie sucked, dude.
all right, whatever. That's beyond the point. But episode 1, it can't be worse than episodes 1 through 3. I mean, I'm sorry, those were bad.
I hope you only mean episode 1 and 2. You really didn't like 3?
I only liked like the fight at the end of
Revenge of the
3.
Sith was one had good moments.
I would take
The stuff like all right, sans like fucking Jar Jar Binks, but like I liked the stuff. I liked the like the dialogue between like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and I liked the stuff with Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Like that was a humongously missed opportunity with Darth
I
Maul.
agree.
But Attack of the Clones was garbage. That movie could just be fucking stricken from the record, and I don't think anyone would fucking lose any sleep over it.
Yeah, when Yoda started fighting, I was like, oh man, this
Yeah.
is getting.
And then no, Revenge of the Sith I think was the strongest of it because it was everything was kind of coming to a head, and you were I think people were anticipating, like everyone knew what was going to happen, but everyone was anticipating it. So I think going into it, people's expectations were I'm not going to say unrealistically high, but they were high, and I'm not going to say the movie hasn't really aged well. And it's not that old, but I still don't think it's. I don't know. The originals obviously will forever overshadow anything that ever happens. So that's why I don't know why they're even trying to do this. Like this seems like such a fucking bad idea.
Honestly,
They're gonna run it into the ground. That's my.
Well, I do agree with you there. I don't foresee this going well, but and most probably hardcore Star Wars fans would want to kill me for saying this, but I feel like they should have just rebooted the series. Because I don't really see how you can do this movie with the original characters being as old as they are.
CGI.
That was one of my fears. Like, I'm sorry to bring this up, but like in Tron Legacy, where they do the CGI thing with Flynn.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, I don't want to see that in Star Wars because I'm sorry, but it doesn't look good.
No, I'm a huge Tron fan, and it was so incredibly noticeable, and I'm not going to say that this movie started it, but the one where they started doing like digitizing like actors' faces on other actors, like they did that in the one, and it wasn't I'm not going to say that it was too noticeable because most of the time you never saw two Jet Lis standing next to each other for an extended period of time, but the first movie that did it and it looked like absolute shit because it was a fucking live action movie was Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah.
With Neo, I was like, wow, this looks like fucking garbage. Like
Video game.
I was like, it looked worse than that. Like it was so like low res. I'm like, this looks really fucking bad. So yeah, I fucking whatever. I know it's Star Wars Day and I should be happy, but I really have like my fucking expectations for this movie are in the fucking like dumps.
I'll be the one hopeful guy.
Well, it's cool because I'll walk out of the theater and be like, oh, that was alright, and you'll walk out and be like, oh, that kind of sucked.
It probably will work like that, but I'll remain hopeful. I gotta at least see a trailer and see what it's all about.
Yeah, the trailer is like a fucking is like a demo for a game. It's like they're gonna show you the fucking most like action-packed, gnarly parts of the movie, and then the rest of it's just gonna suck. But all right, let's see. ZeniMax has accused John Carmack. He was formerly of id Software, a founder, I believe, of taking some of their tech or some of their code and bringing it to Oculus VR. This story has been developing for a while. I read it a couple days ago, so I don't know if anything has kind of come to light. But I did see that on Twitter, John Carmack came out and said that like when he worked for ZeniMax, like he was writing code for Oculus, and that the code that he wrote for Oculus while he was at ZeniMax belongs to ZeniMax. So I think he kind of just fucked himself and like said like, yeah, I took this code and I brought it somewhere else. So.
I thought maybe I misread what the article said, but I thought it said he statement that the company released said it belonged to Oculus. Like his intellectual property and everything belongs to them. No.
Wait, no. Well, no. I'm saying like I said, like I read the story a couple days ago, and I know it's had a few developments since then. And I probably should have kept up with it, but he came out on Twitter and he goes, the code I wrote for Oculus while I was at ZeniMax belongs to ZeniMax, but they don't own VR. So he's kind of like saying like they don't own the idea of virtual reality, but anything I did at ZeniMax is technically theirs. So he kind of fucked himself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I read that part, but
Well, I'm saying like this. I know that I tried to find the most up to date one when I posted on the outline, but it's once again with Twitter, just shut the fuck up. Like
yeah.
if I was like Mark Zuckerberg or anyone, like I'd be like I would fucking crucify John Carmack for going out and saying that because that's the dumbest fucking thing you can do. Like his lawyers were probably like putting fucking guns in their mouths when he said that. But I don't know. Whatever. John Carmack, you're a genius, but I guess you're too smart to know that you shouldn't go on Twitter and say dumb shit. For someone who's far less intelligent than you, I even know that. So maybe I'll take a page out of your book and you can take a page out of my book. We'll trade. Alright, so hold on. There's a couple of stories on here that I'm just gonna kinda strike from the record. And we're gonna skip. Actor Bob Hoskins passed away recently. Died at the ripe age of 71. And one thing that I was really, I'm not going to say I was upset about it, but it was somewhat perturbing, is that a lot of people were being like, R.I.P. Mario, and I'm like,
Everybody did the dinosaur.
This guy had a fucking, like, a really, like, just brilliant career, and you're going to fucking disparage this guy by saying, rest in peace, Mario? That's probably the fucking worst movie the dude made. Like, what about fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Like, it was so aggravating that people just kept saying, yeah, I don't know.
Two things about Bob Hoskins. One, isn't he British? Or was British?
Well, he's dead, so he was British.
Okay, yeah. Because I have to say, if there's one thing, he was British, yeah, but his accent wasn't actually noticeable in the Mario movie. He actually played a good, like, for what it's worth, he actually played a pretty good Italian plumber, at least. His accent was...
That's why they're actors, man.
I know.
Like, like, the kid who plays Kick-Ass, Aaron Taylor, he's British.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, learned something new.
Yeah, there's a lot of actors that are British that you don't know. Like, Christian Bale is, like, he's Scottish?
Something like that. Yeah.
I
think he's from, like, Wales or whatever.
Yeah, he hides it pretty well.
Second thing, maybe it's just me, but some big name people are dying that were in the Mario movie.
Who, fucking John Lozano died too?
No, Bob Hoskins before that.
Dennis Hopper.
Yep.
Dude, Dennis Hopper's been dead for years.
I'm just saying, maybe someone's taking them out.
Systematically. Every couple of years, we're just going to start killing cast members from the Super Mario Brothers.
Watch out, John Leguizamo.
Oh, whatever. He'd probably welcome it at this point. Alright. There was a new gameplay trailer that came out for Destiny. Did you guys watch it?
Yes.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I mean, it wasn't too exciting until, like, I don't know if it was like halfway through, where they're like in a room and suddenly they're kind of like getting swarmed from all sides. I don't know. I feel like I really need to play it to actually be able to get a better feel for it, because the gameplay alone, like, I'm not interested enough in the game yet.
Yeah, I don't know. The vibe I got from it was, it's like if Halo, Borderlands, and Saints Row 4 had an orgy, and this was the product of it.
Yeah, I basically thought when I saw it, I was like, this is Borderlands if Borderlands didn't have cell shading. In terms, they had, high-res graphics, and yeah, I was just like, part of me was a little bit down on it.
We'll see what happens. It's Bungie. Like, I have the utmost confidence in the studio.
They have like a mess. Aren't they supposed to be like working on like a mess load of sequels for it or something? I think they said they have like a future plan where it's just gonna like run for like.
Well, I know Bungie has a 10-year publishing deal with Activision, so in terms of sequels, I'm assuming that they're gonna obviously want to iterate on it. That's obviously probably pending how well it sells. It's a Bungie game. I can't imagine it not selling at least a couple million copies easy, and it's on every fucking platform, so it's definitely gonna hit those numbers. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm like lukewarm on it right now, but I'm definitely with Chris. Like I want to play it first because it looks like they do a lot of interesting things, but yeah, I want to see how it all folds together. I read an article on Kotaku where I guess the person from there that previewed it said the game was actually like pretty boring, and I can definitely see that. It doesn't seem like there's a lot, at least in Borderlands, like the world is very populated, and there's always like something to look at, something to see, something to shoot and kill. It seems like there's gonna be a lot of downtime in Destiny in between like skirmishes. So I don't know. I hope that they're able to improve that and try to have some exposition in terms of like the story, because if it's just me running around like a high, like like an HD world with superpowers and guns, like I'm just like been there, done that, don't really care. But all right, one last news thing before we get to our topic of the week. Drive Club has a release date, October 7th, for any and all people who give a shit and own a PS4.
About time, I guess.
Yeah, that game's been delayed for almost a year now.
Kind of scary. Like, wasn't that just in huge amount of hiatus? Like, did something happen to the developer or the studio? Or
no, Evolution's. I read an article that they said that the company, it took them this long because they really wanted to like overhaul like the social applications within the game, because it's a social racer. So like, if the social elements don't work well, then putting it out is kind of retarded. So yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. Like I like Evolution. The thing that I still don't know to this day, because every trailer they've showed has always been like in cockpit view. If it's a first person racer, I have no fucking desire to play that. None whatsoever. So I don't know this for a fact. I'm just saying, but everything I've seen, they've showed like obviously like replay footage or like doctored footage of like the cars on the outside, and the car, like the graphical fidelity looks really beautiful, but if it's all first person, nope, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to play that game. So, but Evolution, like they have it's a high pedigree. Like all the MotorStorm games have been good. Yeah, they haven't been fantastic, but they're not like they're not bad games, but they're not like like top their class. So, but all right, so we are going to move on to our top topic of the week. And the topic of the week this week is going to be Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Finally got revealed. I had a few stories in here that were kind of teasing it, but yeah, it's finally been revealed. They had a trailer that came out. Al, we'll start with you. Thoughts?
Kevin Spacey. I originally, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, so he's gonna be the House of Cards character? Like, they just like took his character and put him in the game. It's not impressive. I'm intrigued that they were able to get a well-known actor to be in this, but a part of me is like, did they get the right actor? Because I mean, I don't even watch House of Cards, and I got confused. I was like, wait, so he's playing another politician or some sort of like presidential type of role? Like,
well, no, I think he's at the helm of a private military corporation.
Yeah.
So, but it's not the first time they've had a well-known actor in Call of Duty.
Well, no, I guess, yeah. I don't know. I don't play enough Call of Duty, but
well, your boy Kiefer was in World at War, so you should know that.
Yeah, that is true. But I don't know.
And Ice Cube was in one of them, I think. I definitely he was in one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just a part of me just kind of was, I guess, confused or just
right,
trying to figure
it out. Kevin Spacey aside, what did you think of what you saw?
What do you think? A lot of it had to do with, they definitely had elements where they were trying to put in a lot of different things beyond just normal military combat. Like I saw some sort of like robotic. I don't want to say a Titan, but there was some sort of like mech machine type of
Well, they
thing.
had mechs and they had exoskeletons.
So like a part of me was like, wow, were they, did they think of this because of, Titanfall, or, were they always thinking that they were going to put these, in here? Um, a lot of when I watch it, a lot of me was wondering if they're feeling pressure now from the outside, so they have to put in all these different elements to still entice people, because Battlefield has explosive environments, and you can really just mess up the whole world if you really want to. Call of Duty for the longest time didn't have that, so they just relied a lot on their gameplay and just um, just the fast combat of it.
Battlefield has always been multiplayer. Their single player campaigns have always been fucking garbage. The one thing with Call of Duty that a lot of people, I think, give it shit unnecessarily is just because it's a popular game, is that they're like, oh, it's Call of Duty, they don't really do anything every year. Alright, well, what does Madden do every year? What does NBA do every year? What does MLB do every year? It's an annualized franchise that makes granular changes to a game. So if you really, like, for me with a sports game, I'll buy a sports game every fucking 3 years, because if you really want to see any radical change, you have to wait that long. But with Call of Duty, it's, I think, every year, maybe narratively it's not as impressive as it used to be. Like, I think the stories have only gotten worse and they've gotten shorter. That's just my personal opinion.
That's probably why they got Spacey involved, to try and kind of give some clout towards the story.
Yeah, but it's also just like, you look at like the performance capture that he did. Like, I showed it to one of our friends, and he thought it was Kevin Spacey. Like, it's unreal in terms of obviously people are already drawing comparisons between Titanfall and Call of Duty, and for me it looked kind of like Elysium, like the whole exoskeleton kind of get up. But I'll say it right now, and some people might fucking crucify me for it, that looks better than Titanfall. Graphically, it looks better than Titanfall. I think this, obviously, it's gonna have it seems like a pretty fucking awesome single player campaign. And Call of Duty's multiplayer is always solid. The only blemish on that entire franchise, to me at least, is Ghosts. But other than that, it's always been consistently good. So I don't know.
Isn't that kind of scary, considering isn't that the last title that?
Yeah, but it's a different studio.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing with Call of Duty. They have 3 rotating studios. They have Sledgehammer, they have Infinity Ward, and they have Treyarch.
Well, what did Sledgehammer work on last?
Last one they worked on was Modern Warfare 3.
Your thoughts on that?
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. And then Black Ops 2 was Treyarch, which was fucking awesome. And then Ghost was mediocre. But it's the first true next gen Call of Duty game. It's not just like some up-resed fucking 360 port.
That I'm definitely gonna have to wait and see. I mean, I'm gonna have to play it. I'm not gonna buy it day one. I'm gonna have to sit down.
I didn't buy Ghost day one just because.
Been there, done that.
It's not necessarily been there, done that. Just nothing that I saw in previews did it for me. But this game, I'm gonna buy day one. And I've seen a 2-minute and 40-second trailer, so I don't know. I'm really excited for it. What do you think, Chris?
I did really enjoy the trailer, but considering how Call of Duty games usually play out, I kind of feel like this would be a better movie than a game. I just don't feel like everything Kevin Spacey was saying would really translate into whoever you play as when you're playing the game. Like those ideals that he was talking about. So, I don't know.
That little speech gave me goosebumps, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, that's badass.
Yeah, it was. It's just like, but when you're playing as a soldier on the ground, it's like, are you really thinking about all that stuff? Not necessarily.
No, I can understand that. I think it's difficult to kind of copy and paste those ideals into like a combat scenario. So if they're able to, and this all comes down to writing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I do agree with Al, though. I kind of feel like this is their answer to Titanfall. So,
it looks better to me. So
I mean, you gotta.
This is coming from someone who probably put more time into Titanfall than most people did.
You gotta feel like Activision, like, has a little bit of how can I say it? Let's just say that I'm sure they're a little bit pissed off about with Respawn, and how things kind of unfolded. So I'm sure they probably are really trying to, you know, come up with something
But
really good this.
no, but I'm saying like realistically, they really have nothing to worry about.
Mm.
Titanfall sold like 2 million copies. Call of Duty Ghost, as bad as it was, sold like 18 million copies.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair though, like I'm sure they heard from people, just people like you and I, who were like, oh, like who believed the hype of Titanfall and thought, this could be, the killer game that finally takes out, the Call of Duty series, or at least not, takes them out, but gives them a run for their money. So I'm sure Activision heard that and was like, all right, we got to step our game up because, I think people have forgotten who we are, so that's at least how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think Titanfall is a competent substitute to Call of Duty, but I don't until they can kind of overhaul. I think right now it's just like they have a good foundation for a healthy franchise, but until they can actually flesh it out into something a little more substantive than just like a multiplayer game. I don't know. Those are my 2 cents on it. This trailer, I was really impressed with it. I had a feeling that the tech wasn't going to be quite there in terms of just like the graphical fidelity, but everything that I saw, the presentation, it's all first class. Like these, when they make a Call of Duty game, they get a fucking blank check. They do whatever the fuck they want. It's like when Rockstar makes a Grand Theft Auto game. Like Take-Two is just like, here's a check, take as long as you need, do whatever the fuck you want. And I think now that they're on a 3-year development cycle for each studio, I think that it's going to be. I think the quality of the games are going to increase exponentially. And I know a lot of people give shit to Call of Duty, and I've been in that camp at one point or another, especially with Ghost. But I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fucking awesome game.
I'm just gonna pretty much say I like the trailer, but I'm gonna have to at least play it before I even consider anything. I mean, you've had enough with track record. The last Call of Duty I played was Black Ops. I love the story for Black Ops. I'm just gonna have to wait and see. So.
Any last thoughts, Chris?
Nope.
All right, so now we're moving on to our fan-submitted questions and topics. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be part of the show, you can write into our Facebook page when we post for submissions, or you can write into tapgamingpress@gmail.com with topics and questions and trivia questions if you'd like. So we're going to start off with Trev wrote in, and he goes, was there ever a game you just didn't get? The game could have just not made any sense or was too complicated to traverse without a strategy guide or tips. Chris, we'll start with you. Unless you need a second to...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I don't know. I can kind of describe the gameplay. Like I think you're in like a space station or something, and there's like ghosts, and you have to somehow get rid of them.
Oh my god, hold on. It's a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah.
H-Tech.
Yeah.
I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. I can't think of the name, but I like the minute you said Go Space Station, I was like, I actually used to have that game. But continue.
Yeah, I mean, like, the game seemed really good, and, like, as you unravel, like, it was, like, kind of like a mystery type of thing. It was getting really interesting up until the end where, it, like, doesn't make so much sense anymore. And it seems like they had a lot of potential there, but they just didn't work out. And yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Saved my life right now.
Listeners, if you're hearing this right now, when you watch it, if I don't look it up prior, comment on a age tag PlayStation 2 game where it takes place in space and you have to get rid of ghosts. Let us know. Help us out. Al?
2 games. One that's kind of like in quick Chris, where I barely can recall it, which was I think it was like a downloadable game on Xbox Live. It had to do with like heaven and hell, and you kind of were like it kind of had like controls like Devil May Cry, and I can't, the name escapes me, but it was very unusual. Like the story was like I was trying to make sense of it. Like I guess you play like.
Can you give me any more details than that?
You play like an angel, and you're supposed to, I don't know, like you work with Satan at some point, and I'm trying to remember what the heck it's called. It's a weird name for it, but
I don't know.
It's not El Shaddai, is it?
yeah, it was
That's
that.
what I thought you were
Alright,
talking
yeah, I
about.
was like...
Yeah, it was that El Shaddai. Like I played.
That's like that's a retail game. You kind of threw me off with Xbox.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought I played like the demo. I thought I forget, but anyway, I played a demo of it or whatever.
Weird.
That game was, yeah. And then the other one was it was one where you're like a wolf, and it's like a Japanese one with an A, Akune or
Okami?
Okami. I'm sorry, not with an A, with an O. Okami. I played Okami, and I was like, what's going on? This is kind of trippy.
Yeah, This might sound, if you know me, then this might sound a little uncharacteristic of me, but there's one, like, the first time, obviously I'm very well versed in it now, but when I first played Jet Set Radio on Dreamcast, like, that game does not fucking tell you how to do anything. There's levels where it's like, you still haven't spray painted this, and I'm like, where the fuck do I need to go? And I literally would spend hours just trying to find, like, one last spot to tag, and it pissed me the fuck off. But, yeah, other than that, I can't really think of another game that, like, I don't know, that just kind of, like, triggered immediately, because I was like, yes, this happened when I first played this game. It was just the most aggravating fucking thing on the planet. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jet Set Radio. That game pissed me off at first, but now it's, like, my favorite game ever. Alright, well, thank you, Troy, for writing in. We have a few quick questions. We'll do quick fire from Will. First one, what is your favorite Mega Man NES title and your favorite Mega Man Super Nintendo title?
Not applicable. I've
No
never played
answer.
any of them.
Al, do you ever play any of them?
I did, but
Just pick a favorite.
sparingly.
Just pick a favorite.
Mega Man 3.
Alright. My favorite is probably Mega Man 2 on NES, and then for Super Nintendo, I like the original Mega Man X.
I get pissed off easily, so the early games probably would have making me gone crazy.
Alright, next question from Will. What YouTube related channels do you watch? So I watch some stuff on Machinima. I like Rage Quit. I like Achievement Hunter. I've watched some stuff on Smosh. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, it's funny, but it's like it's not always up my alley. What else? I watched that stuff that you told me about, Al, Bat in the Sun. I watched a bunch of those. That was cool.
Yeah.
It's not that they're actually another Machinima partner. What else? In terms of YouTube stuff, I love the Game Over Greggy channel, so anything he does on there. Right now it's just Game Over Greggy show, but I used to watch that, Oreo Oration, Conversation with Colin, Greg Ways. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I watch. Chris, you watch anything on YouTube?
Rarely. I mean, I've watched Rage Quit stuff before, but
That's just a stare.
I can't really think of the names of the channels for things.
Well, any particular videos that you like then?
It kind of depends on what I feel like watching.
Fair enough. Just being honest. Al, what about you?
Non-gaming related, I watch videos on Grantland. It's with it's an ESPN segment with Bill Simmons, which is really cool. Beyond that, some Hot Pepper Gaming, because that's just
I
funny.
forgot about Hot Pepper. I like that too.
Yeah, so that's good. Just like what you said, was it Bat in the Sun? Or yeah, Bat in the Sun. I watch a crap load of that. And Angry Video Game Nerd.
Oh, yeah, it's the AVGN. I forgot about that. On Cinemassacre and the Escapist now. Alright, yeah. Next question from Will. What podcasts do you listen to? Chris, you don't listen to any, do you?
I mean, occasionally I'll listen to the ones on IGN. I don't know if they have names though.
What are they about? Like, if you do listen, like Sony's is like Podcast Beyond, Xbox's Podcast Unlocked, Nintendo's Nintendo Voice Chat,
I think it said Beyond, so I'll go with that one.
GameScoop. Yeah, there's only a handful of them that are actually worth listening to. So that's it.
Pretty much.
Al.
Just more sports related type stuff. ESPN podcasts. Pardon the interruption and different things like that. So
They actually have a podcast.
yeah, they turned their TV show into just a podcast.
Yeah,
So
yeah. For me, I watch, or I listen to rather, Uninformed Opinions, CADcast, Podcast Beyond, Podcast Unlocked, sometimes Nintendo Voice Chat, GameScoop. Actually, I should have mentioned that earlier. GameScoop was one of my favorite ones. I used to listen to GameSpy debriefings. That's no longer around. Comedy Button's funny. Yeah, other than that, that's what I listen to for podcasts. And the last question from Will. What video game do you feel has the best soundtrack? I'll start with you.
I did like back in the day Gran Turismo 3's soundtrack. They definitely had some Motley Crue on there. I thought they had what's that song? Oh, frick, I can't. I liked the Gran Turismo one a lot, and well, I like what I hear on some of the Grand Theft Auto games. This last one.
How about this? Rack your brain for a second and think of something that's not licensed.
Okay, not licensed. All right. Get back to me.
It's so easy to just pick a game. Like I really like one of my favorite game soundtracks is Dave Mirror 2. Has a fucking awesome soundtrack. Dave Mirror 1 has an awesome soundtrack. The Tony Hawk games have awesome soundtracks.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid, PlayStation, the original.
All right, Chris, what about you?
I'm gonna go with like God of War 3. I think that had a good soundtrack, at least from what I can remember.
And this is it's kind of funny. I'm gonna bring up this game for the second time in this podcast. One of my favorite soundtracks of all time is Jet Set Radio. I've listened to that soundtrack probably 400 million times. Probably runner up is Final Fantasy VII. A lot of classic songs on that.
I did like the soundtrack for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time.
Turtles 4.
That was actually really cool.
All right. One last question from Dexter. What are your favorite new RPGs in the last few years, and what is your favorite of all time? Al, I don't think you've ever played an RPG, so...
Okay, to be fair, I don't play RPGs really whatsoever, but I have to go with, I'd probably say Pokemon Blue.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Mm.
Or Mario RPG.
You go first.
All right. So my favorite new RPG that came out, I'll say recently. Probably Lost Odyssey on Xbox 360, and then my favorite of all time is. It's gonna sound cliche. It's Final Fantasy VII. Like, there's a few that kind of like are runner-ups. Like Skies of Arcadia is up there, and Grandia 2 is up there. But Final Fantasy VII, I've played and beaten that game so many times.
Man, all time. I guess I'd go with Pokemon.
No, just think outside the box. You've played other RPGs.
Yeah, I mean, I played Final Fantasies.
South Park.
Stick of Truth is good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite of all time. It's certainly it's probably the funniest game I've ever played. But
I mean, Mass Effect was okay for the short period that I played it. I never made my way through all of them, but
yeah, Mass Effect. Well, Mass Effect was a good RPG, but it kind of started to lean more towards like action
yeah.
shooter towards like the second and third installments.
Did they make any of the Dynasty Warriors into an RPG?
No.
Well, you didn't like Dynasty Warriors Tactics? That's actually a tactics game. Never mind. So, all right. Well, that is all the questions and topics. Thank you everyone for writing in. Remember, if you want to be part of the show, write in to our Facebook page when we post the request for submissions, or you can write in at tapgamingpress@gmail.com. So now we're gonna go into our trivia questions. We got a few of them this week. Also, I'm gonna check our Facebook page real quick and see if we had any last minute ones.
Chris is so intense and ready for this.
He's ready just to school you.
He probably will.
Aren't you ahead in the...
I'm ahead in
wins?
guessing. Dougie might have a leg up on me.
Well, you guys both got one question right
That is true.
last week, and then he got the second one right. That's why I made you answer first, because you just would have copied him.
Oh, of course.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, Al's a dirtbag, and that's how he rolls.
Not always a dirtbag. I'm a nice guy if you get to know me.
All right. Not seeing it. Not seeing anything new. So we're gonna go right into the trivia. At this point, I don't have to worry about Chris looking at the answers. I only have to worry about Al. So I'll leave my iPad over here.
No, but drop something over there.
all the way in the corner?
Fucking smack you in the fucking face if you did that. All right. Here we go. All right. So, question number 1. In Super C, which is Super Contra for the NES, the code for more lives gave you how many lives? A, 30. B, 20. C, 15. D, 10. I'll go first.
Say it again. The numbers.
A, 30.
Mm-hmm.
B, 20. C, 15. D, 10.
I'm gonna say 30.
10.
Chris is right. Answer was 10. D. Next question. In Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo, the move Electric Spark, obtained by defeating the Maverick Spark Mandrill, is very effective versus which other Maverick? A. Boomer Kuwanger. B. Sting Chameleon. C. Armored Armadillo. D. Launch Octopus.
D.
D.
You guys are both wrong. Answer was C.
What was C? Armadillo or not?
Armored
You
Armadillo.
think if it's electricity,
Nah.
it would be something.
I was
with
waiting
water.
for something with water.
Question 3. In Super Dodgeball for the NES, which was not a team you faced? A. Japan. B. Spain. C. USSR. D. Iceland. go first.
In Super Dodgeball. I'm gonna say USSR.
Chris?
B.
Answer is B, Spain.
Fuck. I was trying to see. I was trying to see how long. I was trying to look up my history in my head, and if that came out later, if you know.
Those questions were submitted by Will. Thank you, Will, for writing in. Every week, Will contributes to our trivia segment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Will.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's we've come to the end of our show. If you like the video, like it here on our YouTube channel, like it on our Daily Motion channel. We're on there now, so you can come follow us over there. Follow us on Twitter at Tap Gaming. You can follow me on Twitter at Tim_Utley. You can follow Al on Twitter at AlApocalypseNow. And as always, you can't find Chris anywhere.
Ghost in the shadows.
So we want to thank you for watching the show, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.